Let me tell you about the most unexpected and hilarious ride of my life. It all started one fateful Monday morning, a day that already had disaster written all over it. My alarm decided to betray me. My iron refused to heat up, and my phone fell into a bowl of cornflakes. By the time I left my apartment, I was running late for a job interview that could change my life. I opened my Uber app and prayed that I wouldn't get one of those drivers who took scenic routes just to increase the fare. A few minutes later, a car pulled up. A slightly battered Toyota Corolla with a bumper that looked like it had survived World War III. The driver, a middle-aged man with a toothpick permanently in the corner of his mouth, rolled down the window and gave me a serious look. "You be the one-way book ride?" he asked in that signature Nigerian uncle tone. "Yes, sir," I said, jumping in. "Good. Fasten your seatbelt, my friend. We are going to fly." Before I could even adjust myself, he stepped on the accelerator like he was in Fast and Furious Lagos edition. My head hit the headrest. My heart hit my stomach. My spirit temporarily left my body. "Ah, Olga, take it easy," I screamed. He glanced at me through the rearview mirror, completely unbothered. "Young man, I have been driving before you were born. Relax." I had no choice but to relax. Not because I wanted to, but because fear had paralyzed my ability to do anything else. As we sped through traffic like a tornado, he suddenly turned to me. "You look worried. Are you going for an exam?" No," I replied hesitantly. "A job interview." He nodded knowingly and chewed his toothpick like a philosopher deep in thought. "A job interview, eh? I see your problem. You lack confidence." I blinked. "What? You have a defeated spirit. I can see it from the way you entered this car. You must believe in yourself. In life, you must move like a lion, not like a confused goat." I didn't know whether to be offended or inspired. "But sir," I said, "this is a very important interview. I need this job." And what did I just say? That is the problem. You need the job. No, the job should need you. You should walk in there like a champion. Do you know why Lionel Messi is great? Because he plays football well. No, because he knows he plays football well. At this point, I was convinced this man had either missed his calling as a motivational speaker or had just finished watching a Tony Robbins video before picking me up. Just when I thought the coaching session was over, we hit unexpected traffic. "Ah, Lagos traffic. The devil's playground," my driver muttered. Then he turned to me again. "Do you have a girlfriend?" I nearly choked on my own saliva. "Sir? You don't have one, do you? I can tell. A man who has a girlfriend will not sit in a car looking distressed. You are focusing too much on work, my friend." "Sir, I really don't see how—" "Listen," he interrupted. "Women bring balance. If you have a good woman, she will tell you in the morning, 'Baby, go and conquer the world,' and you will enter that interview like a lion. But look at you, nobody to tell you sweet things. You need a babe." I wanted to argue, but I was also trying to conserve my energy for the interview. So I just nodded slowly. He grinned. "Good. After this ride, I will give you the number of my niece. She is very beautiful, only that she talks too much. But it's okay. You will manage." I buried my face in my hands. This was not happening. After spending 15 minutes in traffic, my Uber life coach clapped his hands. "No, we will not be victims today. Hold on, young man." And with that, he swerved the car into a side street so narrow, I was convinced we had just driven into someone's backyard. We passed women frying akara, a man brushing his teeth by the roadside, and at one point, a goat that refused to move. "Sir, are you sure this is the right way?" I asked, gripping the seat for dear life. He scoffed. Young man, in this life, you must take risks. No great man follows the main road. Did Dangote take the main road? No. Did Elon Musk take the main road? No. Greatness is in the shortcuts. Before I could respond, we hit a pothole so deep I saw my ancestors. Jesus! I screamed. He just laughed. Relax, my friend. We are getting there. Finally, we arrived at the office building just 5 minutes before my interview. I had never been happier to see a glass door in my life. As I tried to pay, he turned back to me and said, "My friend, remember, enter that office with confidence. Do not let them smell your fear. If they ask if you can do the job, tell them, yes, even if you don't know what the job is. But, sir, no, but." Also, before you leave, ask them about their company vision. They like that nonsense. I sighed. Okay, sir. And if you don't get the job, he continued, call me. My cousin owns a small shop and he needs someone to help him count cement bags. I gave him a weak smile. Thank you, sir. I will let you know. As I stepped out of the car, he rolled down the window one last time. And don't forget, walk like a lion, not like a confused goat. I nodded and marched into the office. Long story short, I entered that interview with so much confidence that even I was shocked. I greeted the interviewers with a strong handshake, kept my shoulders high, and even asked them about their company vision, just like my Uber driver had advised. And guess what? They loved me. They said I had great energy, bold and articulate. I got the job. As soon as I stepped out of the office, I called the only person who deserved to hear the good news first. Sir, I got the job. My Uber driver laughed proudly. I told you, my friend, confidence is everything. So, do you want my niece's number now? I hung up immediately. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how I survived the most inspirationally terrifying Uber ride of my life. After hanging up on my self-appointed life coach, I let out a deep breath and stared at my phone. I had just survived the most intense Uber ride of my life and somehow walked out with a job offer. Was this destiny, divine intervention, or just the sheer force of Uncle Uber's motivational madness? Either way, I knew I owed him a callback, just not about his niece. As I stepped out of the office, still riding high on my unexpected victory, my phone buzzed. It was a WhatsApp message from an unknown number. I opened it hesitantly. Hello, my future husband. Uncle Boniface said you are looking for a wife. I am ready. My mother makes the best egusi soup. When are we meeting? I nearly dropped my phone. Ah, this man has already given out my number, I muttered in disbelief. Before I could process what was happening, another message followed. Also, are you allergic to cats? I have 5 and they all sleep in my bed. My heart rate skyrocketed. Was this a job interview or a matchmaking setup? I didn't even remember telling him my name, let alone asking for a wife. I debated for a good 10 minutes whether to call Uncle Uber or pretend I had suddenly left the country. But something in me said I needed to at least thank the man. After all, his strange, high-speed life coaching session had somehow worked in my favor. I took a deep breath and dialed his number. He picked up on the first ring. Ah, my boy, I was expecting your call. You see, didn't I tell you that confidence is everything? Yes, sir, you were right, I admitted. I got the job. Ha ha ha. I knew it. Those interview people were no match for my training. You see, if you had entered there like a confused goat, they would have dismissed you. But now you are a lion in the corporate jungle. I sighed. Yes, sir. But, no, but greatness does not entertain excuses. Sir, about your niece. Ah, you've seen her message, he asked excitedly. I told her you were a sharp young man. So, when are you meeting? She has already cooked rice and chicken. I nearly fainted. Sir, please, I appreciate the effort, but I'm not looking for a wife right now. There was silence on the other end. Then he sighed dramatically. Ah, so you want to be successful first before you marry? Okay, I will tell her to wait for you. But just know, if another man takes her before you are ready, don't blame me. I closed my eyes and rubbed my forehead. Noted, sir. Just when I thought my interaction with this man was over, fate had other plans. A week into my new job, I had to go for a meeting across town. I booked another Uber, and guess whose face popped up on the app? Yep, Uncle Uber. I stared at my phone in horror. Could I cancel? But what if he saw me and called me out for dodging destiny? I hesitated for too long, and before I could react, I heard the familiar honk, honk outside my office. I sighed deeply and got into the car. Ah, my son, you see, the universe wants us to meet again, he boomed happily, adjusting his toothpick. Yes, sir, I muttered. The universe. He turned to me, his expression serious. So, have you reconsidered my niece? Continuing from where we left off. I swallowed hard and faked a cough. Sir, about your niece, Before I could finish, he raised a hand dramatically, like a village chief about to make an important declaration. Young man, let me tell you something. A good woman is like a well-cooked pot of jollof rice. If you delay, someone else will eat it. I stared at him, speechless. Sir, I don't think that's how marriage works. He nodded wisely, completely ignoring my response. My niece is patient, but patience has limits. Just like a phone battery, once it reaches zero, the whole thing goes off. Do you want to be the man responsible for her battery running out? This was officially the most stressful Uber ride of my life. Sir, I really appreciate your efforts, but I am focused on my career right now, he scoffed. Career? And can your career hold you when you are cold at night? Can your career cook a goosey soup for you? My friend, you are playing yourself. I sighed and glanced at my phone, pretending to check an urgent email, but I was actually Googling how to escape matchmaking attempts without offending. I swallowed hard and faked a cough. After what felt like a century, we finally arrived at my destination. I was about to thank him and run for my life when he pulled out his phone and asked for my number. Again. Sir, you already have my number, I reminded him. Ah, yes, but I want to add you to my business WhatsApp group. We are discussing investment opportunities. What kind of investments? Uber goats, of course. I opened the door and stepped out so fast I nearly tripped. Sir, I will think about it, he grinned. That's what I like to hear. A businessman must always consider opportunities. As I walked away, I made a silent prayer. Dear God, please don't let me book this man's Uber again. But knowing my luck, I had a feeling this wasn't the last I'd see of Uncle Uber. I walked into my meeting, still mentally recovering from the emotional roller coaster that was Uncle Uber's motivational stress ride. I could still hear his voice in my head. A lion does not wake up and wait for another lion to tell it where to hunt. Uber goats, think about it. I shook my head and tried to focus. My boss was already speaking, but my mind was still processing the fact that I had nearly been dragged into a startup for transporting goats. After the meeting, I checked my phone and, to my horror, saw that Uncle Uber had already added me to a WhatsApp group. The name? Future Billionaires Network. I opened it. The first message was from Uncle Uber himself. Welcome, future billionaires. Here we think big, dream big, and invest big. Remember, wealth starts in the mind. Then he sent a long voice note. Against my better judgment, I pressed play. My people, today's topic, why you must leave poverty behind. If you are in this group, you are already on the path to success. But first, let us discuss our latest investment opportunity. Uber goats. I nearly threw my phone into the nearest dustbin. I decided I needed to put an end to this madness. I took a deep breath and texted him privately. Sir, thank you for all your encouragement, but I am really focusing on my job right now. I don't think I can be part of the business group. Seconds later, he replied, a wise man once said, fear is the only thing standing between you and greatness. Are you afraid of success, my son? I stared at my screen baffled. No, sir, I just want to focus on my job. He replied. Okay, my son, I will respect your decision. But if you ever change your mind and want to be part of the movement, you know where to find me. I sighed in relief, thinking it was over. A few days later, as I was leaving work, I booked an Uber. I watched as the car's details popped up on my screen, and my heart stopped. It was him, Uncle Uber. I turned around, determined to cancel the ride and start walking if I had to. But before I could escape, I heard the familiar honk. Ah, my boy, he shouted from the window. See, destiny has brought us together again. I closed my eyes and whispered, Lord, why me? As I got in, he grinned. So, have you reconsidered the Uber goat's investment? And that, my friends, is how I knew I would never escape Uncle Uber. The end. Enjoyed the story? Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more hilarious African stories. More laughs coming your way soon.